Right. Hey, everybody. How are you? Happy almost spring. Looks like we have a good crew. A few people are out, but I'm missing Toby and Harriet and Bill had some other plans. So, but we have a good, we have a forum. One, two, three, four, five.
You have 7.
Yeah, 6. And then are you 7? No, I guess 6 of us.
There's 9 listed here on the.
Yeah, so we have 6 of 9, so I think we're, there's no big things, just wanted before. Stories are getting too crazy. Okay, great. Well, let's start the meeting. We have a quorum. We have 6 people. So does somebody want to make a motion to, well, does anybody have any questions on the minutes that Carrie so kindly created for us? Or any concerns? Okay, great. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Okay, anybody want to second that?
Second.
Okay, great. Thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes from last week, and I will have to go around the, like, say everybody's name, because there is one person on the Zoom. So, Monica, I'll start with you. Do you approve of the minutes from last month?
Yes, I approve.
Okay, Monica Mullins. Yeah, thank you.
Monica Mullins, yes, sorry.
Okay, thanks. Holly Fields.
I approve.
Okay, Josh Leach.
I approve.
Okay, Myra Sinnott, I approve. Jessica Brazier. I approve. Okay, Dick DeGrasse.
Yep.
Okay, great.
I can't speak for most of the people here because they have to read their own transcript
Yeah,
in the minutes.
that's true. But everybody had a chance to read it already.
Assuming
So.
if they've read it.
Yep, exactly. If you didn't read it, well, too bad. Okay, great. Well, let's get into it then. I didn't have anything big for discussion this month, but it sounds like we have a lot to talk about already with updates, so that's good. So I'll just give like a really quick overview of the committee chair meeting. So last month they had a committee chair meeting, the select board, and I thought it was really great. I learned a lot personally, but it's also just, it was just for the committee chairs to talk to the select board and say what we're doing as a committee. So I spoke for like 2 minutes. Melissa was there and leading it too. And yeah, I mean, really just an overview so that they know what's happening. And I think they just wanted, you maybe want to do it once or twice a year, Melissa. I think that was the plan.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's anything else, but.
At max quarterly, but
Yeah.
probably every 6 months.
Okay, yeah. And I just thought it was good, like, for people to hear what everybody's doing and learn. And I'll just say, sorry, Jessica, but there's definitely a need for people writing grants, not you, but you know, I think like the town, it's good. The town kind of is like, oh, I mean, not that people didn't see a need to get grants, but I think people are getting excited and it sounded like the select board wants to try to figure out a way to facilitate that for other committees. We've had like an amazing professional like grant writer here. So, you know, whatever, we have been very blessed by your efforts, but not everybody has that. So on the committee. So anyway, that was kind of something that came out of it actually. So anyway, but that's it. So nothing too crazy there. And I will keep you posted if I learn anything else, but I don't think I will.
And Carrie wrote the summaries for it, right? She wrote wonderful summaries. I highly recommend everybody read them several times.
Yeah, yeah.
They are posted on the select board page of the town website.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't know if I saw them, okay. Yeah, I mean, you really learned a lot, like, I learned about the cemetery committee and all the things going on, anyway. Okay. Next up, the Energy Prize update. Cressida Kizzy, do you wanna, I don't know who's gonna talk, but
I'll talk.
and you gave us an awesome handout, so thank
Yeah,
you very
we
much.
got our handout. It's been quite a month.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yep. Yep, so we have been fortunate to meet with a couple more community groups, including the IESC last week, and we'll be following up with them. And we also were able to meet with the Sustainable Housing and Development Foundation
Mhm.
who are supporting our first, project. Financially supporting our first small-scale weatherization projects on the island, and also will be working with us, to develop smaller and larger scale solar arrays at a more affordable price than we could otherwise do, which means cutting people's electricity costs significantly.
Yeah. that's
Um,
awesome.
And, we also,
Can I add something?
yes,
So like, so it sounds like the first amount of money can help, maybe, can you just give us a sense of like how many homes or now and future that you usually talk about?
so the first kind of support is for small scale weatherization and then hopefully also for window dressers. So it'll be a seed fund for window dressers in order for us to be able to buy or fund people's window inserts who wouldn't otherwise be able to get them.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that's a seed fund of maybe, like around $1,000 to $2,000, but we will need to figure out a way to bring that up to about $5,000 or $6,000 in order to cover as many homes as we would hope to in a community build that would need that, additional funding support. And yeah, the great thing about window dressers is like usually off the bat, it will save like 10% or more of people's heating costs. So it's basically it's a good savings and it's a good community project, we hope. So Kizzy has started the window dressers training, which is quite intensive, and we will be doing a bit of recruiting for a team to join us to do the organizing, volunteers for building as well as measuring. So we'll be reaching out shortly.
That's awesome, yeah, cool.
Yeah. And also, we have had the good fortune of having our first contact with CMP upcoming very soon. Yes,
Mhm.
some good
Central
people.
Maine Power, the utility, just in case anybody didn't know what that
Yes,
was.
for potentially for the, microgrid, kind of scenario exploration and, how to get more solar than, we might otherwise over here. And then Myra has, gotten us in touch with microgrid developer, we're hoping. So that's very exciting, next step. And also we have, been in contact and we have met and we are meeting with a National Renewable Energy Lab microgrid modeling researcher who might be able to help us better develop our project design so that it is more viable for developers to take on. Because, a lot of these these are very risky projects, especially out on an island. You want to make sure people understand the project so that they won't, overbid on it once we get our grants in order to do that. So, those are all, progress we're making. And we'll also be, at the end of this month, we'll be bringing back Colin McCulloch in order to do another home energy assessment week. And he'll be doing do-it-yourself weatherization training workshops with a number of people who are interested in it. And then we'll be able to, hopefully get a lot more of his recommendations implemented right away instead of relying on large projects and large installations. So, and we have a number of other kinds of community outreach activities planned for this next month. Yep, that's about it. I should probably hold off on talking about the grant proposals because those are ongoing and very, we gotta develop those.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good, sounds good. Well, and it sounds like then, just when you look at like the prize goals at the top, like 1 and 2, it sounds like we're making really good progress.
Yeah, on both of them now. Yeah, we're finally moving forward.
Just one thing to add, I had a fairly lengthy conversation with someone at Revision as well.
Oh, right.
Regarding everything. It was a very long conversation. It was actually Andrew Carl. He left before you came here, I think. But that was interesting. Interesting, yeah.
Good, yeah. I mean, we talked to the revision person, the other guy from
Yeah.
revision, he was like optimistic, but would have very specific, I think,
Requirements.
yeah, and ideas. So, but this guy was a little different, it sounds like.
He's from the island, but he lived here, so he's kind of got more of a,
Hmm.
an idea of how it works out here. So,
with revision also?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's, he designed this array.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
wife used to work at the school.
Oh, right, yes.
Oh, nice.
How
do you spell his last name? With an E on the end?
K-A-R-H-L.
Oh, I didn't guess that, yeah. That's great. Well, yeah, I mean, the people I met at this conference, they design microgrids and they do, they've worked on islands in New England and in Hawaii, like they've worked in islands, they worked all over the country and they're open. And then the person from the lab, I mean, he's all about like the demonstration of projects. So I think that's really cool because he wants to kind of come up with like innovative ways to try new things and, really, I guess, yeah, make it easier for developers
Yeah.
to do, what we need. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
new
big-
technology that will
Yeah.
reduce costs
Mhm.
significantly.
Yeah, cool. Anything else on there? Anybody have questions for Jessica or Kizzy?
Could you define the microgrid in a little bit more detail? And what does it consist of? Are it solar panels or storage or generators or what?
Well, if we're allowed to use or contract with CMP to piggyback on their infrastructure, then we're not allowed to use fossil fuel generation. It would need to be renewables and some kind of storage, in addition to the microgrid controllers. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at but if we were to do it on a specific site, like the town office complex, we could build our own infrastructure and include, diesel generators that either existing or new. So those are decisions we need to make as we go along, and that's why we need like kind of the research and the microgrid developer partners in order to, plan out those scenarios and decide what our proposed pathways are.
You're gonna have a description of that in some detail to hand out to the committee?
We're working off the, ETIP report, which has a lot of descriptions of these microgrids as they laid them out. So you can go to the ETIP, just search for Islesboro ETIP, and you'll find the final report there. And then you can see a number of these microgrid scenarios that they laid out.
I can
Yeah.
I'll resend the link to everybody, so we can look at the report again and you can see what they laid out. And so solar is the main, technology but this gentleman that we talked to from the lab, who does demonstration of microgrids, he was thinking, he wants to look at like, possible tidal or wave energy opportunities on the island. I mean, I don't know how it will work out, but he's just looking at it, so that could be another option. I think those were the two main ones. I don't think wind was really I don't know. It didn't seem like it, so. Solar and possibly water, some sort of water form,
Yeah.
so. But I will send that report out to everybody again. So that you have it. Okay, great. Any other questions or? Okay. All right, well, the fire public safety projects update, I don't know, Josh, do you wanna give us an update on that?
Yeah, I wasn't here for the last meeting that we had. I do know we met, I believe it was after that meeting.
Yeah,
We walked around the outside of the building. Bill was able to free up the louvers on the
Mhm.
incoming air or outgoing air for for the generator.
Good.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of either, I don't know if it's a matter of tightening up the generator building more so to alleviate the air leakage coming in, or if trying to find a louver system on the air intake would be the easier route to go to allow air to only come in when needed. We've also looked at the pedestrian door, which I believe only needs possibly a new lock set, because I don't believe there's a key for the locking door, weather stripping and paint. The new thermostat, I know I've got
Sounds like it's okay now.
well, to my knowledge, last week, the new thermostat wasn't hooked up yet, because Bill's not back yet, and he had to order a 24-volt transformer, I believe it was, to power the
Oh,
thermostat
right,
itself.
yeah, he said the relay.
Okay.
Because I didn't realize that there was like a 911 help. I need someone to show up in the middle of the night because they didn't have contact phone numbers. And I read the email in the morning and was like, well, I guess on my way in here in the next half an hour, I'll stop in, and he was already taken care of. I don't believe I missed anything. Well, going up.
But we went to the attic,
Yeah,
that was
the
fun.
attic.
I don't know how much we have to report.
Yeah, I would say that I guess there's some cellulose insulation along with the paint installation that's up there.
Yeah.
The extent of how much and how far is kind of the hard.
Yeah.
The hard thing to try to tackle without trying to skim across the inner ceiling or upper ceiling above the insulation.
Yeah, we'll just need to take another look at that with the professional and decide what to do when we have the funding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sounds like, you fix some of the immediate things and then kind of identified some smaller things that could be.
Yeah,
And the insulation would be maybe down the line.
Yeah, and the windows that have been kind of a sticky issue, literally, like they don't really close that well. It takes two people to get the windows closed, maybe able to be freed up a little, just some maintenance on them.
Okay,
Bill noted that they are thermal-pane windows.
they perform pretty well compared to, yeah.
Because they're closed, well, that's not that you can't open them.
Yeah, well, you can get them open, but then you can't crank them closed. It takes someone from the outside to help push the window closed. It's a two-person job to.
That's great. Well, thank you very much. Sounds good. Okay, well, I'm gonna move to the next topic here, the library. I know, well, like Toby's not in the bill, but do you want to talk a little bit? I know there's like a couple of, well, let you go on.
Yeah, we're still working on, getting estimates for the lighting project.
Right.
Which I guess originally it was going to be one room, but it turns out that everywhere except for the front room does not have LEDs. Well, there's one strip down the middle that has LEDs, but we're looking at whether or not we could combine budget forces with the library has some budget in order to fully complete the LED conversion project. As long as we can get an electrician on board by the end of the year or by the end of June, which seems feasible now. We have a couple options
Oh, good.
that we're
Yeah.
exploring.
I saw that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And then like with I guess we're not doing anything actively with the heat pump stuff.
Right, yeah, we'll wait on, I don't know whether Bill gave you notes or not. We'll wait until after that, those bids are pursued and then decide whether or not we go forward with one of those contractors for the, bidding the library. So, or
this-
quoting the
okay.
library.
Yeah, oh, this like based on what we do
Right.
now, okay.
Yeah,
I think it seems on that.
it makes sense to prioritize this year's budget and then work with next year's budget after that.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and I mean, in the town office, like, I guess for their, or Bill said that we've gotten 2 quotes for the heat pumps, system here, yeah. and one from Solar Logics and one waiting for Coast. So that is underway as well and, conforming to the efficiency main requirements, so we can get the money off, the discounts, the rebates, and like, what's that word? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else in those notes here. We just talked a little bit about other stuff, but I don't think, okay, cool, sounds good. All right, well, I'm gonna make you talk again and ask you about the municipal building. I heard.
Okay.
You wanna tell us what's going on with that?
Who wants to say it?
Melissa knows too, I guess.
Melissa just found out because she was ear hustling somebody else's conversation.
So that is
all now.
Okay. So yes, today there was a meeting, where they presented, the maximum guaranteed price. Or guaranteed maximum price, GMP, for the project, and, it came in such that, they're requesting that the select board consider asking for more funding for the health center plus, Up Island Garage, budget. And hopefully based on that, they will be able to move immediately on the health center and, either find another way to build the Up Island Garage or try to come up with more grant funding to get it into this current project development process, so. It's.
So just making sure.
The
that
upshot
correctly.
is.
But,
Go ahead.
so they're looking, the guaranteed maximum price came in significantly over, so they've decided that now they're only going to do the health center and putting a pin in the other two projects that were attached to it.
Right, so maintaining the original budgets for the renovation and the, Up Island Garage. And so, yeah, that would be putting a pin in those two budgets, which total a little over $500,000. And then basically there's 2.5 million, remaining, or is that it? Yes, about 2.5 million. Actually, it's less for the health center original budget, but the new budget or the new price came in at 3.7 million. So the difference is 1.2 million, which they would have to ask for in order to proceed with this current design.
A lot of information.
Who knew the energy committee meeting went?
Breaking news.
Divulge it, yes, it's very breaking, yeah,
No,
today's meeting, right?
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, from our standpoint, doesn't sound like we have to do anything and they
Yeah,
are.
we're gonna do less.
Yeah. So we will probably do less, that's a good point, yeah. So, okay, well, thank you.
Can I interject here?
Yeah.
With the budget that you guys submitted to the select board for, I know that there was $5,000 to $7,000 to help with the remodel.
Yeah.
Pin in that budget, so are you guys still, and you might not be able to answer this at this time, but we're gonna need an answer in like the next 2 weeks. If you still would have that amount of money requested to continue to do the upgrades over here, and if so, they would want them itemized.
In order to account for that for this project budget,
Yeah, if
Okay.
you guys still need that money,
Okay,
yeah,
because we have to approve this budget before we go to town.
okay,
It'll get shot down. Because now if it's not laid out,
yeah.
just going off of the last budget meeting that I was at,
Yeah.
everybody is asking for a lot. And so if it's not
Okay.
firmly written down and justified as to, and if it is a season that you can wait, you might.
Okay, for specific, okay, so that would be the heat pump project in this.
No, that should be this year,
Oh,
this year's budget.
So what is the one that we've asked for?
Library heat pumps.
Oh, okay.
There was something on, because Carrie printed the budget for me and it's all a blur because it was over a week ago. Wasn't even a week ago. It's been a lot. Okay, everybody just has to keep up with me here. Carrie had printed it for us, the one that,
Yeah.
the budget that was submitted, and there was a line item that was in there that was specifically dealt with fire department stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, fire department. I'm
Right,
sorry.
and so I'm
Sorry.
only talking about the fire department stuff, anything that's gonna relate to fire, safety, municipal health building, anything like that
Okay.
is going to have to be revisited.
Okay, well,
Okay,
yeah, I
even
mean,
if it's assisting with the public safety, area, improving the public safety area.
But now it's gonna have to be written out as to why, because if they're not doing it and there's a pin in it, then how much of it is having to, what are we still doing versus what are they doing?
mhm.
Cause that's what we were waiting on, was how much are you guys gonna do versus how much are we
Okay.
having to
I
do?
see.
So now we need to go at it with a opinion of, if they're not doing anything,
Yeah, what do you need to get from the town in order, got it, yep.
and
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
you guys need to think
Yeah.
thin.
Yeah, I mean, if
This
we
isn't a,
could-
this isn't a pump up conversation
If-
of, hey, start asking for more money now so that we can get it done.
Yeah, yeah.
This is realistically looking at it as if they're not gonna touch the public safety area and the fire area, what could you guys still even do feasibly?
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Does that make sense?
That's
There's-
helpful.
Okay,
Yeah, there's,
so you just have to hand it towards me, I didn't even get to reference it, but you, I love it here.
there's also the
But there being
issue,
minutes.
I don't know what we're on for, in terms of this project, like, part of this project. I don't wanna go out of bounds here, but part of this project was considering how to, cost effectively move the EV charger. And our budget this year, as well as our proposed budget, wasn't, line iteming that contribution to the municipal building project.
Mhm.
So the question I also have is, that's what I was thinking about, that potential set of funds for, as well as whatever we might have left over, which we probably won't if we're able to do the
Yes.
public safety improvement as well as the rest of the buildings, heat pump improvements. There's like a number of interacting factors. Basically, we need to know how much the heat pumps cost, and
Yeah,
then we can find out how much we can do for, moving the EV charger sooner rather than later,
yeah,
because this has been delayed.
yeah. I mean, basically what we put in for the budget was like 45 for the library work and then 45 grand and 2 for the meeting minutes and 13 for the fire station door sensors and building installation. So, I think that's the biggest part that they would need itemized, I'm assuming. And so, but it sounds like that's something we could maybe push off a little bit or.
Yeah, or part, depending on what they're able to do with this and what our responsibilities are for the EV charger. That's just something I wanted to bring up.
Okay. So, all right, well, so you need that information in 2 weeks, Melissa, or within 2 weeks?
Next budget meeting is the 24th.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, today's the 12th, I don't have one tomorrow, 20th is budget, and so 27th should be the finalized part of it. Like, cause we have to have it done by the end of March, and so it's one of the, if I don't want anybody just to look at it and go, $15,000, no.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
know,
Yeah,
if you
no,
could
it's
turn around
good.
and be like, hey, given the new information, we would like to revise.
Yeah.
You know, and that
Okay.
could come across more graciously.
Yeah, no, that's good. Right.
Okay,
So it sounds like, yeah, we need to just, hopefully we'll get that information from the heat pump soon.
Yeah.
Maybe just.
see, I'm helpful when I show up.
You're always helpful, thank you.
I know, but I always have bad news. This time I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and work on my thing.
I mean, it wasn't. I wouldn't consider it that bad news, it's just what it is, what it is, right?
Jessica started it.
Yeah.
Pile it on.
Well, yeah, then maybe we could push mid-coast and say we really need.
Yeah.
A quote, but then
Yeah.
after that, we'll know a little more. so,
Yeah.
Okay,
It should happen on Thursday, that's what we've been told.
okay, so, thank you. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll work on that and I will, once we get the information from the heat pump and like kind of work up like an idea, we can send it to the committee so everybody can see how we would itemize and we can talk about it on email. It will be before our next meeting, obviously, so I don't think we need a special meeting for it. I think we can just talk about it on email. Or if people wanna have a little Zoom call at some point, we have problems, but I don't think it should be too hard to manage, but yeah, so that's how I'll propose working with it, if everybody's okay with that, yeah. Okay. All right, thanks. And then, okay, so EV charger, I mean, obviously, we just talked about,
Sorry.
moving it. No, that's okay. But I did wanna say, Monica, you know, we had, you and Holly too, I know you had identified that equipment that we wanted to purchase, so I think we should just go ahead and do it. Purchase the equipment that we've discussed with Mert, and that way that's done, and, we've spent the money because we need to, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, I'm gonna send you guys something tonight with all the details of the items. I went over it 2 different ways because of the budget, and now after hearing what Mrs. said with the overall planning budget. First route is using the majority of the budget of 5K. It's a fire blanket that covers a car. It's 20 feet by 26 feet, $4,722.90 before taxes. Or going the second route is purchasing a few items that would help. One of the largest items pricing is a safety case at $1,549.25. That comes with 2 gloves, 2 fire pillows, 2 fire small blankets, 2 glasses, and a electronic device extinguisher case, along with a few other items, so I'll send that out. I think after hearing about the budgeting, especially if they're gonna need more details as to why, maybe getting a few of the smaller pricing items may be best. I may be wrong. What do you think? I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's for next year's budget. This year's budget,
I think we have 5,000 for this year.
yeah, we have 5,000 for this year's budget, so I think we can spend it as we need. I mean, I think personally, I think asking Mert what he prioritizes,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like what he needs, if he's like, I want that blanket, spend the money, or he's like, I'd rather have these small things. If we say, look, we have $5,000 to spend, which of these items do you think is most important to you and your team? That's what I would do, and just say, this is how much we have, so I wouldn't worry about the money, Monica, I would worry about just, you know, if you could work with Mert to ask him what he prefers, that would be
Yeah, I
good.
could do that. We have a meeting this upcoming Monday and I'll bring it up.
Great, thank you, that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you're welcome, and thank you, and just feel free to just get going on it, that way, at least some of the concern about the EV chargers is assuaged, and we're in a little bit better place to handle any problems, so, yeah, okay, thank you. All right, Dick, you're up. Do you want to tell us some more about your, rates and, policy for the state?
I have been in touch with, Jerry, Rente, I think it's pronounced, the representative from York, and with Paige Ziegler, representative from Waldo County, with regard to the legislation that's currently before, the legislature here in Augusta. And, I've been asked to talk about whether or not that would be useful for the Maine Public Utility Commission. And, I've been in touch with the Maine Public Utility Commission with regard to, off-peak power and load management principles and how it's applied and how it could be useful. And I also have talked very briefly with Lauren Bruce about whether or not, if some of these rates and so forth policies get implemented, which it's quite likely now, that we might incorporate them into future buildings for this town. And right now, that's still an open question. However, the Utility Commission in Augusta has hired a new individual named Deidre Snyder, whom I've been in touch with. And she's, seems to be a very active innovative. The 2 people that I've talked with in the legislature are on the Energy and Technology Committee, In fact, I think Paige is the chairman, Paige, Ziegler's the chairman of that committee. And I've had long conversations with them about, the bill that they had, which I thought was, didn't do anything. Was not significant enough, not detailed enough for anybody to follow. But it seems like there may be something happening. So if it happens, this committee will be the first to know. And then we might be able to incorporate it in the buildings and increase and use whatever technology we might incorporate as an increase in the grant request from the Department of Energy, which could help our budget problem.
Yeah.
So I'm as close to that as I can be with the people who call the shots. Right now, the ball is in the camp of the Maine Public Utility Commission and the legislature. But I think the legislature's turned the ball over to the Utility Commission pretty much. And I've also been in touch with CMP, but they're in the sidelines applauding. They want to see this happen. And Craig Neal is my contact, who's the Director of Regulatory Affairs for CMP. And I talked to him a lot on this one. They want to see this happen. It's a possibility they could vacate the current law to some extent and allow CMP to go out and bid for themselves and resell power, which they can't do today. So that's all of those questions are open right now. It looks to me like the Utility Commission, they won't change the law. So they'll probably, Utility Commission will decide to have a standard offering that includes some load management, storage, off-peak power provisions. And that would be a major impact for us. And that's where it stands. I'm as close to this as I can get without sitting on the front steps of Augusta.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. That's great. And it's good news.
And I have a handout here on the load curve for this state, which impacts us dramatically. And that right there on the table, that's the load curve for the state of Maine and how fossil energy accounts for the top peak and how that's being resolved in other states of this country right now with storage and residential applications, which I'm very close to with Green Mountain Power. I know what they're doing. And they've got 25 megawatts of storage in people's homes. Rather than build peaking capacity, they are now able to move that load dramatically to off-peak hours in Tesla walls. And that's a matter of a phone call to bring them into the loop, but we don't need them yet until the Utility Commission in Augusta blesses the concept a little bit more firmly.
Well, yeah, what GMP,
That's what we are.
GMP is doing some interesting.
But I don't think there's any doubt that the legislature, people in charge, and the Utility Commission understand the problem and it's solvable.
It's great. Well, yeah, and Maine, the governor's office just released, like a draft report where they're assessing, a draft assessment on, they want to have 200 megawatts of utility scale storage in the state, by, I don't know the date, but soonish, maybe 2030 or something. So that's a really big one, right? If they want to incentivize the storage, then they've got to have the rate. So that's a really, big, opportunity as well. So, yeah. And that could help us, right? Because well, we're in the middle, but even if a developer, if there's storage, not on the island, but, on the mainland near us, even that benefits us too. Because if somebody, like, I guess I just keep hearing about that substation that people keep crashing into or some tree or I don't know, whatever.
The transformer.
Yeah, the transformer, I don't know. It's like, seems like it's on a dangerous curve anyway, but that kind of thing, if somebody crashed into it, would prevent an outage from us. So all good stuff, but thanks, Dick, that's really helpful. And I think it's a good thing to see, right? This top level, this top layer, and this is the fossil peakers. So those are the ones like that are turned on really fast. They're gonna use a lot of energy, a lot of natural gas. And so you don't want to have those, right? If you want to reduce that. So, no, that's good. Thanks, Dick. Any questions for Dick or anything on that? Okay. So the last thing, so Toby wasn't able to attend, it is the annual report. When are annual reports? He was working on it and then I didn't. When are our annual report, when is our submission, is it passed?
17th.
The 17th, okay. So I think Toby's been ill. I know Toby's been ill. So he probably hasn't done anything on it. So I will just take it over and finish. I think, did everybody send, if you did not send anything about what you're working on, then I think we're good. I think we have most of it, but if there's something you thought you were gonna send to Toby and you haven't sent it to Toby, send it to Toby and I so that I can help integrate it and I'll write the report. So, but yeah, I think, I don't wanna say too much. I know he's been ill and that's why he couldn't come today, but, I think hopefully he's feeling better, so. Okay, that's that, and that's all we have. I just wanted to ask a question, maybe Melissa knows, or somebody else, just if there's any, they're here, I'm using this to my advantage. This is just like scuttlebutt now, I'm like, do we know anything about the new ferry, or if there's any updates on the new ferry? No, okay.
Everything from the Ferry Advisory Committee has kind of taken a small backseat to that. They were in discussion, they were doing it. And then Bill Gary's like, bam, we're increasing the ferry tariff.
I know. Okay.
So all of that, and maybe it's like a Siegfried and Roy thing of, hey, look over here,
Like
and
tires.
we're gonna play with the ferry while no one's paying attention and everybody does talk about the ferry rate. Can't confirm nor deny, and there hasn't really been any talk about it that John King's brought back up to us.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, and then if this, you know. If I don't have to talk to
Maggie back on July 2nd.
Yay!
Yeah.
Wait a second, not yay.
No, that's my
It's
official
coming
guess.
back.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
can we
so-
Like
Look
I
at
said,
the
it's
side
more
ones
the
of
July
Oakwood wine, the side
Yeah.
tunnels.
Okay, supposed to,
Yeah,
allegedly.
the middle
little
are
R2D2 thing's gonna take out somebody if they don't put up a little.
Oh, the middle has like a thing, I never go. I
No,
watched
the
middle is
sides
awful.
of this one.
Oh.
On one end of it, this is me just being nitpicky because I've almost hit it twice. They have a little R2D2 thingy. And if you're watching the guy trying not to run over tackle box and then all of a sudden you get too close to R2D2 and then your car screams at you, you kind of panic and then you get a lot closer to running over one of the ferry workers.
No, I know.
So I would like to have R2D2 brightly colored if we're gonna keep this ferry for a little bit.
But the
I
ferry
know.
workers scream too very loudly if you hit that. Either way, you get noise.
No, you're gonna get an alert.
Ollie, take notes. Gotta be louder.
One has blood.
We have to talk to the Coast Guard,
Uh,
because they regulate, they have something to do with the design of the ship and what's on it and what it looks like.
Well, I
But I
appreciate.
can tell you that they, on the ferry, it hasn't hit the design phase yet. It's in preliminary design, where they're assigning people and hiring people who are going to be part of the design team.
Okay.
So that's where we're at with it.
Thank you, that's good to know. And I ask, other than just being curious, I think, as we're thinking about this microgrid or just like, because our, there's the idea to obviously focus on the town center and, start in pieces, but I think perhaps with the help of this person from the National Lab, like we could not do it all at once, but we could design it pretty broadly and if it's an electric ferry, that will have a really big impact on our.
It's a
electric-
hybrid.
Yeah, but we're gonna be using electricity mainly. That
Yeah.
would seem to be the plan, right? So, and where the charging infrastructure is gonna be and how that will work with the island and the island's load is gonna be a big, it can be a big impact, not bad, just something new. So I was just curious, like, where we were and, like, how it was going. So,
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet.
okay, that's fine.
And the interesting thing is, we all know that technology changes, so maybe what's true now won't be true when they actually start looking at the design.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Well, I guess just like, and I guess Holly, you're closest to this, if you have any deeds as things go on, like where it might be located or where it might be charged and, or how that might
Yeah.
go, just give us the intel so that we
Yeah.
can
Oh,
share
there's
it
some
with.
interesting things out there.
Yeah, there is. I mean, and it's it's pretty amazing technology. I'm always here. I'm just learned like MIT is like doing, they have this like climate prize or something, like climate, I don't know. Basically like a competition to build for new entrepreneurs and MIT does it and.
Energy and climate prize.
Yes, there
I
it
did
is.
that.
Yeah, I was like, there's a climate prize in the title, so it was telling me about it. But I think the winners or some of the top people, like they created, like basically a more efficient, like chip to somehow using batteries and technologies that's like way faster and I don't know, just like
Yeah.
things that are things that we never thought could happen or would take much more power or much more effort. I think, I mean, they're not all gonna be fixed, but they're coming up with cool ideas. So anyway, that was a very high level explanation of what they came up with, but to your point,
Yeah.
there's.
Well, we get a report every week that tells us what's going on with the different replacement ferries and where they're at and things like that, so.
Cool. Interesting.
Holly, do you have details on the design yet?
No, basically what they're doing right now is they're looking for people who are gonna be part of the design team, so they haven't even gotten to the design phase yet, they're just putting the team
And
together.
this is the Department of Transportation is looking for those people?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well,
A
great.
lot will depend on what the utility commission does.
right. Yeah,
But they know it.
Yep.
And I keep telling them that.
yep,
We'll see.
yep, it'll be interesting. But, yeah, they are looking at a redesign for both the Islesboro and the, Lincolnville infrastructure. So that'll be coming down the pipe too.
Would it be in a different location for our island?
I don't know that. They'll probably have to look at that. A lot of it has to do with, where's a good spot to actually land. And, so there are a huge number of variables at play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, right, thank you.
I keep telling them if they're gonna redo the terminal, they'll have to put it on stilts.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's why I asked, that location's definitely dicey these days. It's only gonna get worse probably,
Yeah.
unfortunately, so, yeah. Well, and just for if there is gonna be charging infrastructure, it's probably better to be somewhere else. But I'm just wondering.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks. All right, well, look at this, a record less than an hour meeting, woo-hoo. Well, anybody have any, so, the homework, I guess, is, for me, is I'll work on the itemized budget mostly, so y'all will hear from me soon about that, and, I'll send out the ETIP report as well to everybody. Anything else anybody wants to mention or talk about? All right, everybody's.
Oh, I do, shortly. The sporting
Yeah.
club is open to working with the energy committee. Not just only the energy hub, but the committee itself too.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you, Monica. Well, and I guess, do you want to tell us, maybe you could write up a description as to like how they want to work with us so we can, or do you want to tell us, but writing it up would be helpful just to see it out and so we kind of agree on everything, but.
Yeah, I could write something up, touch base with them in the next board meeting and have it ready and sent by email for next energy meeting.
Awesome, that's great. Yay, good partnership. We're excited about that. Awesome, okay. Well, anything else? No, okay, awesome. Well, thank you all so much. You're doing really great work. Everyone's working really hard and doing amazing things, and you should pat yourselves on the back and eat a cookie today or something, because you're doing great work. Yes, drink a nice soda. Moxie, whatever. But I just want to say thank you because everybody's working really hard and there's a lot going on. And so you're all appreciated and doing good. So thank you. Okay. Does anybody want to, move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. So all in favor, I'm going to have to call the names out now. So All in favor of adjourning, Monica Mullins,
Aye.
okay, Holly Field,
Aye.
Josh Leach,
Aye.
Myra Sinnott, aye, Jessica Brazier,
Hi.
okay, Jake DeGrasse, aye, okay, great. All right, all done. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.